G'day guys, Duckville here. Welcome to another replay. We are going to have a look at a Protoss versus Zerg. I don't think we've had enough of those lately, but it's especially been one of my particular problems lately on the ladder when I've been playing, is a bit of Protoss versus Zerg. So hopefully we'll have a little bit of an interesting match here between these two players. Speaking of which, we have a Protoss player here. I'm not actually sure who this is. His name sort of translates out as EolKil, something like that. Not actually sure if this is someone of significance or anything like that. I think it may be some sort of Smurf account, and he is going to be playing against this particular player here. His name in the game is actually Chicken. He is actually there was a different name for this dude. I can't actually remember what it was, but he is definitely a decent player. Both of these guys are very decent players. We will hopefully see some interesting plays out of them. Just a note for anyone, just a little bit of housekeeping if no one's actually watched the other game that I will put up for today, being the 22nd of November. If you haven't watched the other game, just a little sort of message beforehand. I have had a couple of problems with people have sort of let me know that there have been some problems with video and audio, so hopefully in this new one this will actually be a bit better looking in terms of brightness and that sort of thing, and also the sound will be a little bit better for those of you using speakers. So anyway, back to the game. We are here on Metalopolis. Chicken's grabbed his spawning pool there. I believe that was at around about 13, so it looks as if he's going to get the spawning pool first, which is not always something you see in Protoss versus Zerg. However, he's I think that was just a little bit more of a cautionary move to make sure that he didn't get any sort of early gate pressure or anything like that. And unfortunately there, our Protoss player actually missed blocking that hatchery. He let it kept it off for a few seconds, but not too long in the end. The spawning pool is now done, so we'll probably see a couple of Zerglings pop out from Chicken, and we'll see how we go from there. We've got a cybernetic score on the way, so no early expand from our Protoss player. We generally sort of see sometimes in Metalopolis, a lot of players like to use sort of a pylon, gate, forge sort of wall thing here, protecting the natural expansion with a cannon or two, and then sort of progress from there. But it looks as if EolKil hasn't actually gone for that just at the moment, but what he has done is kept this probe alive quite well, considering he was inside with a couple of Zerglings on the creep, but he's kept alive quite nicely here. But looks as if this probe might actually get away. I'm not sure. No, he's actually turned around, so we'll see how he goes from here. He might try and get back in to make sure he can scout what else is popping out of the Zerg base, but it looks as if meanwhile he is actually going to get his cybernetics pumping on the warp gate technology, so that is going to be done quite soon. This probe is still alive, guys. 2 health on this probe. This is some great control from our Protoss player here, and he's going to get away. In fact, the Zerglings have given up. In fact, the Zerglings have missed that the probe has run off to the side there, so a little bit of a dash off to the side there by that probe to stay alive, and he'll be alive to cause some havoc, no doubt, for another day. Chicken, meanwhile, has got 2 queens now up, so he's going to be getting out certainly a lot of lava. He probably will have depending on how he goes with his drones, if he drones hard, he might have a bit of trouble actually keeping up with all of the probes, with all the lava, sorry. But it looks as if he's actually going to be getting some Zerglings. So we've got a total of 8 Zerglings on the map now, and he has attempted to bust at the front, but obviously the 2 sentries here were able to keep the Zerglings out. So they're going to have to sit down here at the side and not actually be able to put any pressure on. And it looks as if the warp gate tech is now done, and that is a signal for our Protoss player to move out. In fact, he's going to be able to get this Overlord here. Really unfortunate for Chicken to lose this Overlord, namely because he is actually supply capped at the moment, which is just ticked off, and now he is resupply capped again. So he's not going to be happy about that. He does actually have 2 Overlords on the way to make up for it, and in fact he has gotten a whole heap of Zerglings. We actually have a total of 24 Zerglings on the map at the moment. He looks as if he's going to be going for something very early to actually try and take advantage of the Protoss expansion. So EolKil has actually taken out his expansion on 2 gates, and he's grabbing a forge now to make sure he can get a couple of cannons up. as we can see here, some pylons are going to be prepped to wall off this particular expansion, and it looks as if some speed is now done. The speedlings are going to come in. Nice force fields there, blocking off most of the base there, and it actually keeps these sentries alive so they can actually make a meal of all of the Zerglings that are here. One did actually get up here, but there was a beautiful force field to make sure that the rest weren't able to speed by. But looks as if there are still a whole heap of Zerglings on the map. It looks as if Chicken's going to go very hard with the Zerglings at the moment, trying to bust in. He actually has 18 more Zerglings in production at the moment, and he's attacking again at the front. Some more force fields go down. It looks as if there are too many Zerglings here at the front. But we've got a few more Zealots warping in, not walking in. They're not walking in from higher, but I don't know, maybe they got a good run. But either way, he does actually just fend off at the sort of the last breath for both of these units here. They're both very low, and a couple of cannons have gone down in response now, so that should eliminate most of this Zergling threat, unless he tries to run by again. A force field on top of the cannon, which is actually really, really cool. You don't see that too often, given that most players don't actually try and attack into cannons, but he's used the force field there and taken advantage of the fact that it actually blocks off the Zerglings from hitting the cannon, so the cannon can shoot freely. And just before we go back to the front there, we've got a hatchery on the way for Chicken, and he is really, really keeping away from getting any drones, so he is going to be powering in a lot of Zerglings. I would not be surprised if we see a Baneling there. No, we've got a Roach Warren, so he's going to be probably getting a few more Zerglings out, and then perhaps some Roaches, and try and bust the front. But it looks as if Protoss is actually doing a great job defending here. He's got a bit of a wall here. It's not really a hard wall. You can actually slip some Zerglings through this particular spot here, but no, he's actually going to fix that one up. Chucks a cannon down to make sure that wall is a little bit more secure, and there is a Stargate here, so we may see a Phoenix or two. And in fact, we do. We've got one Phoenix coming out here. He's going to push that across to the Nexus, and then he's probably going to go out Overlord hunting, which is something which I still really do not see too often these days, is Protoss using the Phoenix to their advantage. But we'll have to see how he goes. We've got still sticking with this very heavy Sentry Zealot force at the front, and we've now got 4 cannons up, so I'm not sure if this has actually been spotted at all, that Chicken's going for this very hard Zergling sort of style at the front, but he's definitely going to be prepared for it. Now the Phoenix is going to come across to Chicken's base, and he's going to be able to scout out what is going on. He'll see this hatchery here. He's going to have a couple of shots at these Overlords while he's flying around doing those groovy little moves that Phoenix do, and he's going to take a few shots and scout out that the natural is all done here, as you can see. So Chicken is now actually pumped up a few more drones, and in fact he's sort of sitting on around about 39 drones to our Protoss players 50, so he's a little bit behind at the moment, but you would expect that he's actually going to power that up quite hard now that he's got 3 hatcheries pumping with a lot of minerals in the bank to use. But what he's actually going to do is chuck down a Hydrodan and an Evo chamber, so we may sort of see some sort of early push here. So I suppose it's not really early anymore, but he's probably going to use a few some Roaches for protection, and then perhaps some Hydras to do a lot of damage there. And we've got these Phoenix flying around. Let's keep an eye on what they are doing, but a couple more Phoenix coming out. We've got +1 weapons on the way for our Protoss player, and it looks as if he's had to defend the front there, but he's done quite nicely with the force field, so he's keeping on top of that. These Phoenixes still flying around looking to cause a bit of trouble. They come across and find one lonesome queen sitting here by herself. Now this sort of play here with the Phoenix, as I said, it's not really used too often these days to great effect, but what it does do is it causes the Zerg to think about either, number one is they will need to obviously they'll need to clean up some more, get some more Overlords rolling, but they will also need to get some Queens out, or perhaps a Spore Crawler to make sure that they can defend against air. And what the Protoss has done in this instance is he's used the distraction of the Phoenix at the front there to actually just move his forces out, and he's come down and stopped this expansion at the 5 o'clock. So that is a great little move there by our Protoss player, who's keeping the Zerg in check in terms of economy, and just making sure that he's not going to burst out of control, because that's obviously what you do not want a Zerg player to do. Sorry. So, oops, I accidentally paused that there. My bad. But let's just see what we've got. There we go. We've got the response there from Chicken is actually to get a Spore Crawler here. We'll probably see all the Overlords clump up over the top and just sort of be protected by that Spore Crawler there. So we'll see what happens. But we do have a very, very large force from our Protoss player here. He's certainly got a great little mixture of units here, and he's going to move. He's going to try and move up here to take this 10 o'clock expansion, and we'll see how he goes with that. And he's got a couple of, I think I saw a couple of Immortals were actually on the way. No, he's just got the one, but he does have a Colossus, and Colossus Rangers on the way as well. So the Colossus are going to pop out, and actually they're going to have +1 to weapons and also the extended range. So that's going to be really beneficial to our Protoss player in terms of defending this this push that looks like it might be mounting up for Chicken, and also in terms of when he attacks. But it looks as if Chicken's going to lose another Queen here. He does take out one of the Phoenix, but it's not going to be enough because Queens obviously provide a lot more usefulness than Phoenix can, depending on how you actually use them. But Chicken's moving in here. He's got quite a large force of Roaches, Hydras, and a few Zerglings at the front there to provide some damage. And EolKil's going to actually have to cancel everything up there at the 10 o'clock expansion, and he's going to have to defend quite nicely here. There is a lot to defend against, but some brilliant force fields go down, just cutting off that ramp for all of these guys at the back here, and we'll see all of these forces get cleaned up. The Colossus standing there at range, taking out a lot of units, and the Sentry's doing a great job there as well, along with some of these Stalkers. So Stalkers are going to clean up these Hydras. I think they are not going to get away. These guys are sort of chugging along. They do not go to gym, so they are quite slow when not on the creep. And the Roaches are going to have to reform here back at this rally point that Chicken's got set up here at just this sort of middle ground here near the top gold expansion. Now, Protoss has 3 Colossi out, and he's going to be obviously using them to great effect given this particular composition. The Roaches are obviously going to be a little bit harder against the Colossus, but given the fact that there are 3 Colossus out now, in fact, I think there may be another one somewhere, he is obviously going to do a great deal of damage no matter how many Roaches are here. And it looks as if we've got another battle is going to take place here. We've got an Immortal at the front soaking up a lot of damage. Great positioning there. Some more awesome force fields going down, and we see all of these Roaches get cleaned up. Only a few survive, and that is a GG from Chicken. He has had enough. He knows that the Protoss is on the way to just absolutely tear through everything he has. So a great little game there. Not a long one, not a short one, but a great play there from Protoss player to firstly deny this expansion here at the 5 o'clock from going up, and also to stop some of these Overlords as well. So if you take out some of these Overlords, it gets harder to stick with this Roach sort of build. So he's did a great job there with that, and he just controlled his economy quite well. So great little game there from EolKil, or whatever his name was. But it was a pretty good game there, guys. I hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers.